Hey tea heads, this is Don from Mei Leaf. In this video, tasting 4 aromas of Dan Cong Oolong. We have a new Dan Cong Oolong in stock called 8 Immortals. So we thought this is the perfect time to break out all of our Dan Congs and do a tasting of all 4 of them side by side so that we can describe the flavors, and we're gonna add a little challenge element into this video, see if we can blind taste and pick out the different aromas just by taste.
Yeah.
Are you ready to do this?
I love these kind of challenges.
The challenge.
I love them.
Adds a little bit of excitement to the video filming. So, for those of you who don't know, Dan Cong Oolong is one of the most loved, adored oolong teas and teas in general in China and around the world. Tea aficionados, tea connoisseurs, it's very, very rare that you don't find someone who is gushing over Dan Cong Oolongs. They love it because of the fact that they have such incredible character in terms of aroma and finish.
Yeah.
And for those of you who really want to dive deep into understanding Dan Cong, I've done a whole video about Dan Cong where you can follow us on our trip to China sourcing these teas. I'll put a link in the description below. But basically, this is an ancient type of oolong tea, and what's very, very special about this type of tea is that the original tea trees were grown from seeds, so they were natural hybrids, genetically different, okay? So genetically different hybrids, and the farmers or producers started to make tea from these and started to discern certain flavor profiles, certain aromas that they would start to name that tea tree that aroma. So in the example of Milanxiang, that's honey orchid. So that tea tree has a honey orchid aroma. And then after that, they started to cultivate from those mother trees. So what we have in front of us is Milanxiang Dan Cong, honey orchid. We've also got black fruit punch or TEAWARE. We've also got duck shit or yasha. And this one here is 8 Immortals. Let's quickly scope these teas and we'll talk about each one in general.
Yes.
So I'm going to put this here and you'll see the scope information pop up next to it. Milan.
Milan is such a classic.
It's a classic.
Everyone knows a Milan.
Yeah, so Milan is probably the most produced of all of the Dan Congs. It's the most in terms of yield. A lot of Milan hits the market every year. Of course, just like everything in tea, but especially when a large amount is being produced, there are wild differences in the quality profile and the price of the teas. This is our Royal Peach Orchid. It's one of our favorite teas. It was the tea that we used in our wedding ceremony when we got married. It's, you know, it means a lot to us, this tea. And we obviously focused every single year on finding the absolute best Milan that we can find. For us, it's all about peachy notes.
Gotta be really fruity, peachy, very, very high on those notes, because some of them can be a bit too on the woodier, like earthier notes. So yeah, very fruity.
All of these teas are medium roasted teas, so they're all going to have a slight baked note to them. Charcoal, medium roasted. The great thing about Dan Congs is the production in general. If you're buying from good producers, it will be done traditional style over Longan wood charcoal. So really, really traditional style. So that's Milanxiang Dan Cong, aka Royal Peach, the most universally consumed Dan Cong out there. Right, so that's Milan. Next up, we've got TEAWARE. Also an interesting one, this one, because it is sort of considered to be a more common variety. And we didn't really buy TEAWARE until we found this one farmer that just happens to have an incredible crop of these TEAWARE, which basically means big black leaf, tea varieties. Incredible fruitiness, amazing sort of tropical fruit notes coming through on this one. So TEAWARE is again a more common variety. Lots of it is on the market, but you know, this was really the perfect terroir, the perfect plants. And I have to say, with Dan Cong in general, terroir, I mean, terroir is important for all tea types, but there's something about Dan Cong. You can have the same aroma profile or cultivar that's supposedly taken and cultivated from the same mother trees, although I'm sure there's a lot of variations there as well. But how it's grown, where it's grown, And the age of the tea tree is very, very important. These are all going to be older, definitely over the sort of 50, 60, 70 year mark, these tea trees. So that's a TEAWARE.
That will affect the lingering sweetness at the end and not make it too flat. Because sometimes you get a lot of aroma, but then there's nothing left.
So in general, older tea trees will have more persistence, right? More endurance and persistence.
Yeah.
This one here is Yasha, also known as Duckshit Oolong. Very, very famous, very, very well known. Recently, it's become a very fashionable dancong, not just because of the name. I have to say that does contribute to it. A lot of people like to talk about Duckshit Oolong, but also because of its immaculate flavor. More on the, in general, sort of
like
nutty,
creamier, more almond notes, more frangipane kind of notes.
Yeah.
And quite fruity, but more on the like red fruits, you know, like what, cherry notes too.
Yeah, more buttery and a little bit more cherry rather than, and I would say a little bit less floral, but still there's floral notes going on. And finally, last but by certainly no means least, is Eight Immortals, also known as Xian. Eight Immortals, the story regarding this tea is that the original mother trees, there were 8 of them and only one of them survived, and so it became known as Eight Immortals tea. And it is probably more rare than the others. I mean, it's still being produced, you know, but it's not being produced in the same quantity. It's not as often seen on the market as your Milanxiangs, your TEAWAREs, and your Yasha.
Why not?
It's just there's less of it, less of this variety around. It's a very well loved dancong aroma variety by people who love dansongs, but it's just not produced in the same quantity. Right. So what we've done is we have labeled these with coloured stickers underneath, and we've got coloured stickers underneath the guy ones here. So we're going to make sure we don't mix them up.
No mixing.
This is yellow, so we're going to do it in order.
Yeah.
Let's heat up these guy ones first, I think, and then we'll put them in order, and then we're going to mix them up afterwards so that we are doing some blind tasting.
I am organised for once. The kettle was boiled before. Yeah.
Good, good, good. You could see when you were looking at the scope, the leaves look slightly different. Some are a little bit more thin, some are a little bit more dark, some are a little bit more twisted, but overall very, very similar in terms of their look. And after we put these leaves in the Gaiwan, we will try not to peak too much.
I mean, with this type of tea, it's kind of hard to tell if dansongs are high quality just from looking at the leaves, I think. Yeah,
I would say in general, you're looking for, as a sort of very general rule for these things, you're looking obviously for whole leaf, you're looking for nice long leaves, you're looking for a nice twist in it. You don't want the leaves to be too open. If they're too open, it probably means that, you know, the leaf material wasn't sticky enough when it was rolled, or it wasn't rolled properly. Yeah. Okay, so let's pour these in.
Yeah. Is the right one?
Yeah, I put them in order.
Okay, cool.
So we know the colours, and we've marked the colours on our packs of tea here, so we'll always be able to refer back to it. Yeah. Right, so now you put those away.
Okay.
And you don't look, and I'm gonna...
Okay, one sec.
Well, I'm just starting, so you don't look.
Oh my God. Gonna break something.
Okay, now your turn. I don't look. You switch them.
I'm switching.
Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Ready? So now we're totally blind. None of us know anything about which one is in which tea. So we can start. Now let's not change the order. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah,
okay.
We're not going to change the order. We're going to brew direct into cups. So we're going very, very simple here. We're going to share cups. Yeah. Super simple. Okay.
I have to say though, I'm a little bit anxious about the Eight Immortals because I don't remember.
Oops, you never tried
the taste, apart from that session.
Sure.
Anyway,
let's take a look at these leaves.
Let's see.
And let's just begin. Let's just dive straight in. No, let's go and smell the aroma first. So start with number 1.
Okay.
Let's see if we can describe aroma.
Oh my God. Okay, it has
there's
nice roast on it.
There's an incredible bouquet, just overall, a sort of melding of so many different aromas coming through here.
Oh, it's got fruity note. It's got it's got some almondiness to it. It's very fragrant. Yeah, it's very fragrant.
It's like fruit sherbet.
Fruit sherbet.
Really, really fruity. A little tang on it as well. Obviously, the medium roast is there, so I'm getting a slight charcoal roast in it.
Yeah.
Really nice. Okay, let's just do first impressions. Let's go for the second one.
Okay.
See what that one... This one was very interesting.
Yeah, that one was very interesting.
More sort of sherbety and tangy.
Very fragrant. Kind of floral as well. This is more on the fruitier note.
Even more?
Yes.
Okay, that's more straight ahead fruit.
It's like stewed fruit. And I'm gonna, I don't know if I should say it, but I feel like there's like stewed peach in it.
Yeah, there's more peachiness. And also I would say sort of a sweet potato and honey note. So sweet potatoes, very, very, very starchy note going on in there.
True,
which again,
actually. Yeah.
Brings me down.
Sweet potato.
More that honeyed sweet potato. I'm more in that Milan area. Let's go for this one.
I don't want to guess too early because I've gotten things wrong before.
So different, amazing. If you ever want to do this yourself, try it as a flight. You know, try and get like 4 tasters or 4 packs of these teas. It's such a great experience.
It's fun.
That one is butter central.
Butter. I was going to say this is like being in the bakery.
That is buttery goodness.
Frangipan, butter. I feel like I know this one again.
If that's not duck shit, then
exactly.
That is so beautifully pastries, butter pastries, cherry pies.
Oh, that's hard. Oh, that's hard to smell.
What?
True. Because that one is kind of reminds me of that similarity to that one. It's got like floral notes to it.
A little bit more of a toffee note to it though, as well.
Yeah.
So it's got that fruit sherbet tang, but a bit toffee note for some reason. I
think it's cooled down a bit, so.
Let's give them a rinse and let's smell the wet leaves.
Let's do that.
Let's do a little production line. No, go for it. Keep going. The advantage of 2 people.
Yeah.
I love these mini guy ones because you can just go straight into a tulip cup.
Oh my god! Okay, just
from a mini guy one.
I can't actually look.
Oh, did you see a sticker?
I saw a sticker.
Oh no, you saw a sticker. Okay, all right. Well, don't tell me anything. Okay.
I don't like that.
All right, go.
I don't.
All right, you know one then.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything, but that's really annoying.
I think that one was the easiest one anyway, because unless I'm wrong.
Well.
Oh, okay. But anyway, it seemed like duck shit to me.
Let's just taste. Okay, I'm just gonna.
Let's just taste. All right, let's start. You can smell number 1.
Okay.
And I will take these lids off.
I'm such a gamer. Like I don't like not being part of the full game.
Well, you've still got 3 to guess between.
That's true. Oh my god, man! This one is quite stunning tea. It's like really bouquet of flowers.
Ooh, yeah.
But it's so hard to pinpoint.
White flowers.
White flowers.
More white flowers.
Yeah.
More lilies, magnolias.
Yeah.
A little bit of
more magnolias.
More sort of creamy fragrance flowers rather than zesty fragrance flowers.
100%. And it's got some kind of fudgy note to it, but the fragrance of those like magnolia kind of flowers just overtakes it.
And the fruit...
It's really sweet smelling.
The fruit is like fresh apricots. Freshly cut apricots. Less peach, a little bit more on the sweeter, creamier side of things. Like fresh apricots. Like if you take fresh apricots and you combine them with
caramel and yogurt.
Yeah, not caramel so much, just sort of yogurt. Yeah, yogurt or something milky and creamy.
Yeah.
And
it's but it is like fresh apricots.
Apricot yogurt.
When you smell
it's straight up apricot yogurt. If you imagine those kids' yogurts.
Yes.
Yeah, apricot flavored yogurt.
Petit filou.
Yeah, petit filou. I wasn't going to brand it, but yeah, those.
Sorry, that's
really
such a French yogurt, petit filou. But it's around. I feel like it's everywhere. That brand.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, apricot yogurt. Love it.
Yeah.
Deeper. This one's definitely deeper. Oh, that one's got that sort of very, very ripe, almost fermented fruit. It's more deep in the forests. I'm getting more forest honey, sweet potato. Peach. That for me is peach central. It's
peach, you know, like preserved peach in a syrup, you know, that kind of thing.
Tinned peaches.
I love those things.
Childhood. And it's got the woodiness there, which I would want from a Milan. I'm assuming this is a Milan or raw peach, but not too much. But it's just there to give it a slight varnish note to it. A little bit of a spice on the nose. It just adds a little spiciness. That's what I love about it. And the balance for Milan is such an interesting one. We did a tasting box before where we provided you with samples of different Milans so you could note the difference between the more woody variety Milans all the way up to the super high fragrance. And my preference is in between where you get enough of that bite from the woodiness.
Yeah.
Now this one you know. But this one is so creamy. I'm getting...
It's so funny because like I smell these and I used to be really excited about the smells of dancongs, but now I'm all about the taste because the moment you taste it is when you know, okay, this is what I would keep going for or not keep going for, you know?
You're becoming a pro.
No, I think it's just...
It's true. No, that's the way it is. When you taste more and more and more, the aroma is something that is delightful, of course, but it's all about will it translate in the cup and how long will it last for. This has got lots and lots of...
Since I know this one.
I'm getting baked things. I'm getting frangipans. I'm getting apricot as well, but maybe more cooked apricot. Cooked cherries a little bit. But it's, again, more, maybe it's just an apricot day for me, but a little bit more apricot-y, but very much the difference between this one and this one is the level of butteriness in that one.
Yeah, definitely. The butteriness covers up that apricot note. That apricot note in there is so bright. It's just like smelling a ripe apricot skin just going in there. But I know this one, so I'm just, you know, I can't say
that has
too
to
much.
be duck shit. And this one has to be black fruit. Because it is just straight up custard apples and mangosteens. Much more tropical, much more of those creamier, but very, 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 very pungent tropical fruits. I get a lot of mangosteen in that one, which is why we call it black fruit punch, because it's a black fruit or a black purple fruit.
I'm going to add a little papaya note to it.
Yeah. Let's just, we're deep in that tropical fruit forest.
I agree.
Okay. Let's brew these up. Make sure it's hot. Okay, so we're going to brew and we're going to count 10 seconds in between, okay?
So you're guessing, okay, what are you
I'm guessing
so far?
Eight Immortals, Royal Peach, Duck Shit, Black Fruit Punch. I'm almost certain about that one. Yeah. I'm very certain about that one. So it's only between these two.
Yeah,
but that one has more of a tropical fruit note and this one has more of an interesting sort of tangy note that I'm not used to. And because it's a new tea for us, I'm assuming that the flavor that I'm not used to is going to be the one that's going to be...
Yeah, I'm very sure about this one. But
okay, let's go.
See.
All right, let's start with, well, you choose. Let's start with that one.
That one.
What we're saying is probably black fruit punch, but let's...
Ooh. Still very tropical fruit thing.
Yeah.
It's very, it's got like a citrusy note to it.
Just running your nose down.
But then there's like the mangosteen is there, but it's got another like maybe a flower added into it.
Which flower? Lotus?
I don't know if a lotus tastes of anything. Does it taste of something?
I get like lotus seeds. And little rice, a little bit of a ricey note happening there as well. But definitely mangosteen. It's a creamy tropical fruit note. So papayas, mangosteens, custard apples, those sort of notes.
Custard apples, that's a good one.
Yeah, those that area.
You think it's going to be drying, but then it's not quite drying.
All dancongs will have an element of astringency and a tendency to be a little bit precious about brewing. You've got to be very careful that you don't go crazy and overbrew. unless you want a slightly bitter tea. They will all have some bitterness and at some level of astringency, which is part of their joy.
They've got a greeny note.
They've got a green note. And if you look at the leaf, if you show the leaf to the camera,
I can show you guys the leaf.
You can see they're always, the dancongs, this is only the first infusion, but the dancongs will start to reveal more and more of their green as they brew out. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And these are interesting plants because if you think about it, if you imagine down in Yunnan province and Assam and Yunnan, that area, it's all Assamica, all the big leaf varieties. This is generalization, but let's go with it, okay? There's always going to be exceptions. I don't need to see all the comments saying, actually, there's a small leaf variety. Overall, in Yunnan, you've got Assamica, big leaf.
Yeah.
And then overall, along the west coast of China, where all those green teas are being made, you're having more of the small leaf, the sinensis varieties. And in between, where these dancongs are, is where this sort of meeting point of large leaf and small leaf join.
Right.
And so you get all of this interesting hybridization happening. And in many ways, as an overall, very, very general, but overall, the small leaf, I think, contributes a lot more to aromatics.
Right.
And the big leaf contributes a lot more to texture. Body, finish, bitterness, and all of those good physicality factors in tea. And in dancongs, and to some extent in Wuyi Yanchas, which is again just moving up towards Fujian province, that meeting point is the place where you get this amazing collision of fragrance, ultra aroma with intensity of finish and body. And that's why you're getting that sort of experience with dancongs. All right, number 2.
It's interesting. Oh,
super buttery, smoother, thicker, just more buttery, more creamy. I'm getting croissants, like, you know, just straight up nicely
pastries.
Medium to dark baked buttered breads and pastries. I didn't get much fruit, but more on the finish, you're getting a slight almondy, cherry, marzipan note.
For me, it's like, marzipan full in my mouth.
This is more of the Bakewell tart, right? And this one here is like a
tropical forest.
Tropical fruit rice pudding. You know, in Thailand, they have those mangoes with rice. But just imagine, instead of mangoes, imagine more mangosteens, durians, custard apples. Lovely.
Yes.
If that is not Milan Xiang Dancong, then I'm going to pack up and go home.
Oh my God.
So good.
I'm like 100% sure now because like I know that tea so well now.
Deep forest honey, sweet honey, but then you get the woodiness in there. That's really, really lovely. That beautiful dry woods, a little bit of varnish, peach,
and then the
sweet potato, orchid comes through. Just a lovely balance of flavors. It's the most, I would say, contrasting on your mouth from those sweet floral notes down to the moving through fruits, moving through sweetness and honeys, and then into the woods. It's
like the dark honey, like that dark honey that has more of those deeper notes. It's interesting with Milan Xian because you get, or raw peach orchid, because you get those really high notes when you smell the leaves are like fruits, like peach, like really full on, and then those deep notes that roll in, like honey. I love honey. Dark forest honey, for sure.
Definitely, very much forest honey. This is delicious. Oh my gosh.
I'm still kind of in between that one and that one.
No, it's no doubt now, because I've not experienced that tea, or at least I haven't experienced it regularly.
That tastes like some kind of alcohol syrup, but I don't know what.
It's got more funk to it. It's got a little bit more. I'm getting like flowers, white flowers, like lilacs and magnolias and those sort of flowers. I'm getting some sort of fermented.
That's what I wanted to say. There's a fermented. It's like syrup thing. But what's that?
It tastes more serious, if you know what I mean. A little bit more like adult. Yeah. It tastes a bit more like. Need to get your head around it. Let's brew them up again. Let's brew up again. All right, let's go second round. Have a taste. See if we want to change our minds, but I think I'm pretty set on the decisions that we had before. I'm feeling pretty confident about this one.
Okay,
Hopefully.
I'm just gonna like.
Yeah.
I know this one already.
A little jasmine note going on in that one as well.
True. Butter. Just like butter.
Just
Salted butter.
Genius. Butter and cherries. Unmistakable.
Instant fruit.
Milan.
Peach.
Okay.
Flowers.
Really, really interesting, this one.
It's like, it's got resinous.
Yeah,
taste to it.
yes. Exactly. Maybe that's better than the alcohol. Totally. Forest resin, like
Yeah.
wood resin.
Like-
Almost like pine,
Yes.
piney,
okay, yes.
pine wood. It's that sort of
Yes.
medicinal sort of aromatic pine and cedar wood.
Yeah.
Definitely. With the white flowers. Less of the fruit, but the fruit is there.
It's there.
But it's much more about flowers like those bright white magnolias, lilacs, pine wood, resin,
Yeah.
mastic, the ice cream that they make, that mastic
is that
resin.
Greek ice? What
Yeah,
is it?
it's made from, I don't think it's resin well, it tastes like pine and cedar, those sorts of notes. Delicious, a little bit more adult, I would say, and very interesting aftertaste as well. The aftertaste on this is a little bit more cooling, I would say.
I agree, compared to like a Milan or
These are a little.
chocolate.
They're all a little bit more sweet.
Yeah.
Let's hit this one more time because this is our new one. We're assuming that we're right. Should we check that we're right?
You might want to check.
All right, so
before you
let's check that we're right. Okay, so this one
That'd be
here
so funny if it was wrong.
is. This one here is. Let me just put a lid on.
Yeah.
This one here is blue.
Oh.
So you can see blue is the black fruit punch. So we were right about that. This one here is green.
Passion fruit, not passion fruit.
Green is duck shit. So
Jungle fruit.
that's what you knew already. So black fruit,
Yeah.
duck shit. This has to be Milan.
Has to be.
Yeah, orange. So that's Milan. So we were right. Yes, yes, yes.
This is the newbie.
Have to say that was not that difficult because we know these teas so well. Let's brew up the last one and let's do one last taste of this new Dan Cong 8 Immortals, the Xian variety. Excited to get this one in. We wanted to get Xian in for a while, tasted quite a few of them, didn't hit the mark, but this one definitely does. I remember eating the raw leaf of this in one of the videos, and it was super bitter. Do you remember in the Dan Cong videos, I was like, let me try this.
Well, on the trip.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was super bitter.
You do like to taste raw leaves, though.
You can start to pick up characteristics. They're mostly very bitter, but you can start to pick up some characteristics.
I think my taste buds are too sensitive for that. I just go, ugh, it's too bitter.
Wow.
But man, it's really well produced because it's like all those taste notes that we described, but like crushed together. You know?
It's very well blended and set in. It's sweet as well. I don't want people to think that it's not got those Dan Cong floral and beautiful sweet aromas. It really does. And even in the mouth, when it first hits, I get a flooding of sweetness. And then it becomes like this sort of refreshing pine resin tang to it, which is delicious.
I'm going to add something that might sound a bit weird, but it has a sourness that I sometimes get with a good Tikponyin. You know?
A little tang. Not as much as a...
Nowhere near as much, but there is that reminiscence on the tongue.
Definitely an interesting interplay of creams and flowers and woods and tang. Very, very interesting tea. Really, really enjoying this one. I'm going to dive deep into this and we're going to write some proper tasting notes of it. But overall, if we're going to do a snapshot across the board of the different flavor profiles, let's go. Black fruit, exotic fruits, mangosteens, some jasmine.
I want to say a little bit like a custard thing going on.
A little bit custardy, yes.
That's like the sweet note of it.
Yeah. And then duck shit.
Butter. Frangipan.
Frangipan being almonds and butter and sugar.
Yeah, sorry, Dad. And
apricots and cherries.
yeah, okay. But like cooked
Yeah.
apricot and cherry.
Oh, The aroma of a Milan is unmistakable. Just straight up forest honey, ripe peaches, and wood varnish.
Oh man, yeah, those
And
three
this one
put
here.
together, it's pretty spot
This
on.
one here. Cedar wood, pine wood,
Pine, resin, yeah, it's like
fresh apricots, white magnolia.
perfect.
Yeah?
Yes.
So, all of them delicious. We love them all, but if you are looking for differences, that would be our interpretation of the flavor differences. And
Yeah, you might get something else again.
let us know in the comments.
Based on your taste buds.
Let us know your own personal flavor notes and tasting notes.
Yes.
And I highly recommend that you grab yourself at least a taster of each one of these and do this flight yourself. It's a great way to really start to train your taste buds in the different varieties of Dan Cong Oolong. That's it, tea heads. Check out our other videos. Taste our teas wherever you are in the world by browsing our website, or come visit our tea house if you're ever in London. Other than that, I'm Don. This is Celine from Mei Leaf. Thank you for being a part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from those tea bags. Keep drinking the good stuff and spread the word, because nobody deserves bad tea.
Bye.